Welcome back, Rankers. Oh my God, what a big week last week. We had over 1,200 views of the video, which is insane, and about 2,500 unique views on the page in just a couple of days. You guys like that stuff, or you're scared enough to come and find out about it. Anyway, big thanks to Smart Company. We're now syndicating the show to smartcompany.com.au. So if you came to us from there, thanks. And welcome, and we hope to bring you a lot more stuff that is useful to you. But on with the show. Last week you'll remember that the show was about the new Google Penguin update that was pending, as Matt Cutts told us. And he said, this is on August 15, something like that. He said it's going to be jarring, it's going to be jolting, SEOs are not going to like it at all. So since then, SEOs all around the world have been doing the collective waiting for the inevitable penguin to fall from the sky and smash everyone's rankings. Of course, that doesn't happen to us. Well, it didn't with the last penguin update. Who knows what's going to happen with this one? However, I'm confident because in a side-related issue, Google recently was awarded a patent on August 14. Day before Matt Cutts made his announcement about the new Penguin update and how it's going to be jarring and jolting, and SEO is not going to like it. SEOs are not going to like this particular patent either. Well, a lot of them, the spammers, anyway. Basically, it's a really, really good article by Mr. SEO by the Sea. Go and read his site. Go and have a look at his site. It's a good site. And, sorry, I've forgotten his name. He's called SEO, Bill. Lovely bloke. G'day, Bill. And he's done a really good article. But basically, if you're out there spamming, this algorithm change, or this patent, if they roll it out into the algorithm, it's really going to mess with you if you're spamming with Google. And I'm sure there's a lot of engineers inside Google right now having a big giggle just waiting for this to be rolled out. Because, I'll read you the preamble if you like, and you can decide whether you want to go and read the patent itself. A system determines a first rank associated with the document, a web page, and determines a second rank associated with that document, same web page, different rank, where the second rank is different from the first rank, so we've got presumably lower or higher ranks. The system also changes during a transition period that occurs during a transition from the first rank to the second rank, a transition rank associated with the document based on a rank transition function that varies that transition rank over time. I'm laughing, I'll explain in a minute. Without any change in ranking factors associated with the document. So what this patent is, and I've read it, and man, it gives you a headache, because engineers come up with these things and then lawyers put them into patents, and read Bill's article. But basically, if you do something that's spammy on your website, Google detects it, and it sees the rank, and the ranking goes up. I should say, the ranking goes up or the ranking goes down because it's spammy technique, and then you reverse that change. This patent says that we're going to be watching that stuff, and we are going to mess with you because we're going to just do totally random stuff to the ranking of that page. So you might say, okay, let's put really small text down at the bottom of the page with all keywords. Ooh, whoops. Google, it may make the page go up initially, right? And then Google might go, hang on, the algorithm will kick in and say, no, that's really small font text. So it's not really there for the user, it's there for me. We're going to drop your ranking. So then you might come in and go, Google dropped my ranking when I put that small font text there. I better get rid of it. I better move it. Well, that can have unintended consequences according to this patent. Because what this patent says is that if you go and do that, you're probably a spammer. Because you've gone in and you've put small font ranking down the bottom, small font text down the bottom of the page. The page is dropped. You've removed it. Therefore, you were trying to do something artificial to get your page ranked, and we got you. We know now because you removed it. So we might put the page up a little bit, or we might put the page down a bit, or the page might disappear from the index. There's a whole range of functions, and there could be a whole variety of things that you're doing this with. It could be I don't know, show hide JavaScript or something like that, or something that Google knows, that we know from Google is spammy. And this is an attack directly at SEOs. Now you might say, and I've heard a lot of people say in the past, Google hates SEO. Well, that's not what they say to us. That's not what Matt Cutts says all the time. And that is certainly not what Webmaster Tools says. I mean, Google Webmaster Tools has got a section called Optimization. That's for optimizing. And it gives you this information like you've got duplicate page titles, you've got duplicate meta descriptions. Google is trying to always, in fact, and I'm not just saying this because this is what they say, I'm saying this because this makes good business sense for them. They're always trying to improve the experience of the user. So they're always wanting to make sure that they send their users to the most relevant result for a given search and to a site that is a great site. How do they determine whether something is a great site? Well, it's fast, the pages load quickly, it's maybe got lots of social signals associated with it, and that could be another thing that they might look at. They might look at spikes in, I don't know, likes or whatever, or they might look at backlinks from shady, well, not from shady, but a spike in backlinks, and then question that because they all have the same anchor text, drop you down a bit, you go and try to take those links away, and all of a sudden they mess with you and you don't know what's going on, you don't know what's working. There is no cause and effect to your work. Nothing logical. And that's what we rely on as SEOs, is that we say, we do A, we observe, and therefore we can draw the conclusion from that action and observation. That's the way we work, essentially. But Google doesn't say that they hate SEOs, but you could argue that this patent is out there to attack SEOs that go after web spam. So it would make sense to me that when Matt Cutts says that the next Google update you are not going to like if you're an SEO, he might mean that if you're a web spammer. And certainly this document is pointing to exactly that. And the other interesting thing here is that this was filed on the January the 5th, 2010, and it was only got approved in August 14, 2012. Now, this function would not already be in the algorithm at all, because you can't get a patent on something that is in the public domain. So if I were the lawyers, I'm sure the lawyers would sit there and say, no, we don't want to roll this out into the algorithm just yet, because it could be recognised as prior art or something and we might not be able to patent it. So I would say that function is certainly not in the algorithm as we sit, but it could be coming to a ranking near you soon. Another interesting thing about this Penguin update that came out that Matt Cutts says, and I got this from Barry Schwartz's page, who reported about it back on August 16. And then Matt Cutts came back and commented to Barry, and he said something really interesting. He said, you know that little thing where you can say, don't show me any results from that site? I'll see if I can bring it up. Let's have a look. So if I go, I don't know, credit cards. Right, I hit Bank West, and then we hit the back button, and I got this thing here that says block all results. Well, when that originally came into Google, Google said, look, we've got no plans in using this to influence the ranking or the algorithm. Well, according to Barry Schwartz's website, SEO Roundtable, it says, e.g., the April 2011 update incorporated new signals, like sites that users block. Okay? So just because they say at the time that they're not going to use something that you might think, oh, that's easily abused, isn't it? If everyone blocks pages from, or my competition blocks pages from the results from my site. Well, Google is incorporating it in some way, shape or form. And I'm sure they're smart enough not to have it abused, like in the case of that user blocking function could be, or you might think it might be. I don't think they're that stupid. The product's better than that, and they're going to hurt the product too much if they do that. But there are a lot of people angry about these changes. Ever since Penguin on April the 25th this year, and I think that's meant to be April 2012, I think, because that's when we saw Penguin come out, right? There's a lot of people angry, a lot of SEOs really, really angry. And if you're angry and you want to join in the conversation, please do. StuartMedia.biz or the YouTube. If you're on Smart Company, comment there. I'll try to get out there. And also on Facebook as well. And if you like the show, thanks for the likes. And we will see you next week. And if you've got something nice to say, love to hear about it. If you've got something nasty to say, well, I'll read it. I won't necessarily respond, though. See you next week. Thanks very much. Bye.